I'm Hannah.
And I'm Shay, and we're Dinner National.
Today we're making Italian food.
Italy is one of the most popular tourist destinations in Europe. And why wouldn't it be? From Florence, the birthplace of the Renaissance, to Rome, where the Colosseum still stands, to the beautiful canals of Venice, this country has no shortage of wow factors. However, Italy is especially famous for its incredible food. Using simple yet fresh ingredients to create some of the most magical food this world has to offer. Italian food is famous all around the world. And today, we're showing you how to make two classic pasta dishes. The first one is the spaghetti alla vongole, an herbaceous pasta loaded with garlic and clams and homemade spaghetti. We also prepared a spinach and ricotta ravioli, which we paired with a traditional garlic and butter broth that really allowed the homemade pasta to shine. For our side dish, we served Fungi Trifolati, a dish of buttery sautéed mushrooms and a really fresh caprese salad. Just throw in some antipasti and you have yourself an Italian feast. Buon appetito!
All right, I'm really excited about today because we're going to be making two kinds of pasta, and we're making it from scratch. We're using our new pasta maker that we just got. We've only used it once, so bear with me if I mess a few things up, but I think we're going to do a really good job today. And we're going to be using one dough recipe for both kinds of pasta to make it easier. So we're going to be extra and use our mixer instead of mixing this by hand. I mean, we did get a dough hook, so we kind of want to use it. I'm going to put 280 grams of all-purpose flour into the bowl. Boop. Try not to spill it everywhere. I have 2 whole eggs, 4 egg yolks, and 1 teaspoon of kosher salt. This is super easy. You just turn it on. Level 3. Let it mix for about 5 minutes until the dough is in one cohesive ball. It's probably going to get stuck to the end of the hook a little bit, but it should be shiny. You'll know when it's done. You'll know. Okay, so this is our nice ball of dough. I'm gonna knead it for a little while longer because I think it still might be a bit soft. So we want it to be like a firm ball of Play-Doh, if you know what that feels like. So there's a lot of different kinds of pasta. We could have put a couple different things in here. The last one we made last week, we put some semolina in it, so that's also common. It's really nice, actually. I mean, I don't know. I can see why doing this every day might be a little bit like, you know, like these old grandmas that are like, oh, we have to make it a pasta every day. I don't know if I could do what they do, but every once in a while, make my own pasta. Feel really, really cool about it. Dude, I'm like really getting into it too. When I was your age, I used to have to wake up before school and make it a pasta. I was 3 years old. So I've decided that this is done. I'm going to wrap it in some dough. I'm gonna wrap me in some dough. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this in some plastic wrap and let it sit for ½ hour to an hour. You choose. Don't make the wrong choice.
Italian food is all about fresh ingredients and bright flavors. I really love recipes that do not call for a recipe. This is one of those. This is a really simple side dish called Fungi Trifolati. Fungi means mushrooms. I don't know what Trifolata means. As you can see, I have a fry pan going over medium heat. This is like about 2 tablespoons of oil. Olive oil would be traditional. This is like a tablespoon of butter. So if we do just butter straight up, apparently the butter can burn, which is why you heat up the oil first and then melt the butter in there. So I have this sad sage, but this is fresh sage. So I'm just gonna put that in there, give that a little toss. So what we're trying to do over here is infusing the flavor of the sage into our butter. So we're not going to eat the sage. Not that there's anything wrong with eating sage, but this thing will be pulled out in the end. And in the same way, I have like 1 clove of garlic that I have peeled and crushed. It's literally just 1 clove. Just give this like a quick toss. In about 30 seconds, you'll start to smell the sage, and that's when you know that it's the right time to add the mushrooms. So these are just cremini mushrooms that I have sliced really thin. Porcini mushrooms could be used, portobellos could be used, but this is what I just had on hand. Seasoned with a nice pinch of salt. All you need to do now is season this to the best of your specifications. And now this time we're just keeping it simple. I'm just gonna garnish it with like a little bit of chopped fresh parsley, put some crushed red peppers on there. So now the sage has done its job. I'm just gonna pull these sad sage leaves out. I'm just gonna leave the garlic in because I like the garlic, but if you don't like it, you can just pull it out. I'll just keep sauteing this for like about 10-15 minutes. So I'm just gonna finish this dish with another knob of butter because who does not like butter? That is it, you guys. Fungi Trifolati, ready to eat.
Okay, so this is the filling for our ravioli. It's gonna be spinach ricotta. I have about a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil heating over medium heat. We're gonna wilt some of the spinach a little bit before we mix it with the cheese. So this is super easy. You could probably also just blanch this if you really want to go for a little healthier option. There's a lot of different ways to do it. This type of ravioli is usually paired with just butter and garlic as opposed to like a tomato sauce or a cream-based sauce. This really wilted down quite a bit. So I'm just going to salt this and turn off the heat. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, turn off the heat. And you have to let this cool thoroughly before you mix it with the ricotta. So I'm gonna pop this in the freezer. Shouldn't take too long. So this is what I got from a 154-gram box of spinach. It's very little, as you can see, and it's also very salty. We put like half a teaspoon of salt in there, but that's because ricotta cheese is not salty at all. So this is ricotta cheese. I've been straining the water out of it, just kind of leaving it here. There's a milky, watery substance in here. You don't want it too watery going into the raviolis or else it's just not gonna work. It's gonna fall apart. Everything's cooled off. Oh, and this is thoroughly drained. This is the ricotta cheese. I'm going to plop that into a mixing bowl. And I'm gonna put in our spinach, which has been pretty salted, like I said earlier. Here's 1 egg and a little more than half of a cup of Parmesan Reggiano. Okay, so I'm gonna mix this together. All right, I'm gonna split this little potato that's been resting. It looks like a potato, but it's our dough. So I'm going to split it in half. Half is going to go towards our raviolis and half is going to be for our spaghetti. So I'm going to put this on a semolinaed plate and I'm going to cover it with a kitchen towel. Okay, so to my right, I have a tray with semolina for the spaghetti once it's cut. And this is semolina to make sure everything doesn't stick to the pasta maker. This is just the flattening attachment. I don't know if that's what it's called, but that's what we're gonna call it. I'm gonna cut this into 4 pieces. Okay, so we have our quarter of our spaghetti dough. Going to make it into a flat disc. This is set to level 8, and we're gonna roll this on through to flatten it out.
We're going to flatten half the pasta to a level 4 for the spaghetti and a level 2 for the ravioli. Gradually keep reducing the thickness of the pasta until you reach these levels, taking care not to skip too many levels at once to avoid tearing.
Okay, so that took a while. We just finished rolling out the ravioli and spaghetti. So this is gonna be our ravioli dough. And this is our spaghetti dough. So I've changed the attachment here. We're gonna cut our spaghetti noodles. You can do these a little longer, but these are a little short, guys. I don't know. Like I said, this is the second time we've made pasta. Second and third time, because we're making 2 different things. So let's cut some of these. I don't want our noodles to stick together. Like I said, you can do them a little longer, but here are some noodles. All right, so we are going to stuff our raviolis. I'm gonna do about, let's say, a teaspoon per ravioli. Put it on the lower half. Yeah, you don't wanna overstuff these. So I'm gonna wet the edges of our pasta, like this. I'm gonna fold this bad boy over and press it down on the sides.
Try your best not to leave any air pockets in the ravioli, and cut the ravioli with the fluted end of a pasta cutter.
This is a non-smoking room. I don't know what's going on here. I'm gonna boil these raviolis for about 3 minutes. I'm gonna put maybe 4 or 5 in at a time so as not to crowd the pot or have anything stick. You 4, don't hang out too much. Yeah, I think I can do more than 4 at a time. I just wanted to be safe because, you know, you don't want these guys sticking together. I've oiled a plate. That may or may not be necessary. Using my finger to spread it because that's what you do sometimes. So once these guys are floating, you can tell that they're done. I'm gonna toss them onto this plate. I'm not gonna toss them, I'm gonna place them gently onto this plate and put the next batch in. So I'm gonna use this same water to boil my spaghetti. I'm gonna put it I'm gonna put this on the back burner for now though, and we're gonna make the sauce for our ravioli, which is essentially garlic butter. All right, so we're gonna saute these raviolis in butter and add some garlic to it as our sauce. So I'm gonna put about 2 tablespoons of butter into about a teaspoon of olive oil that's heating over medium heat. Okay, our butter is melting. I'm going to add in a large clove of garlic that I have minced. Cook this for a little while until it's aromatic. You kind of smell it. It's not going to be raw. I'm going to add into the pan our ravioli. Don't put too many in at once. Just kind of, saute these.
So here I am, about to reap the rewards of Hannah's hard work. As you can see, she was really nice to make me like a decent amount of spaghetti. All I need to do is boil it and make a nice sauce for it, and I'll be ready to eat. Today we are making spaghetti alla vongole, which means spaghetti in clams. This is one of my favorite dishes. I really enjoy the really simple, briny flavor that the clams impart. And it's like a little bit of a throwback to our Malaysia episode. Okay, so it looks like our water is boiling. This was the same pot that Hannah used to boil her ravioli. So I'm just gonna quickly boil these noodles a little bit at a time. So this is fresh pasta. Remember that fresh pasta cooks way faster than dried pasta. All this needs is like about 2 to 3 minutes. I mean, just suss it out, you guys. I mean, you also want to make sure that you cook it a little under because you will be finishing this and it keeps cooking in the residual heat. Come on, pasta. Faster, pasta. That is done. I'm gonna pull these bad boys out, finish the second batch, and make a quick sauce. I have a little bit of oil heating up on medium heat. I'm just gonna add like a nice 2.5, 3 tablespoons of butter in there. Wait for this butter to melt. These are live Manila clams. So we kept these in water just so that they can like spurt out all the grit and the salt and stuff like that. Be careful with these clams, you guys, because clams live in the ocean, so it can be a little bit too salty. So we're not really adding that much salt into this dish at all. This is mostly going to be flavored by the brine in this clam. Okay, so it looks like my butter is browning. I'm just going to add 2 cloves of garlic. Saute this real quick. Alright, so my garlic is starting to brown. I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of white wine. What we have over here is Sauvignon Blanc, but any kind of dry white wine will work. Once that goes in, I'm just gonna add these clams in there, get everything into one layer, and all I need to do is shut this guy up. So I'm really happy with this lid that's kind of see-through, so I can actually see when my clams are starting to like open their mouth. So once the clams open up, that means they're done. It's almost like a natural timer. If some of those clams don't open, that means they're dead. Don't eat them, they're actually spoiled. So only eat the clams that open up naturally. is nice. Hannah, you're gonna love this. Okay, so this liquid is boiling and our pasta is already done. So I'm just gonna put our pasta in there. Just quickly toss it in this awesome juice. Just get everything nice and wet. Our pasta was already par-cooked, so this doesn't need too long. And here I have juice of half a lemon, which is an excellent garnish. And that's it, you guys. Spaghetti alla vongole is ready. As with most delicious Italian preparations, add a healthy amount of parsley and some butter and some olive oil and some crushed red pepper. Viva Italia! I cannot wait to eat all of that stuff.
Yeah, we're really hungry.
Healthy amount of extra virgin olive oil.
Yeah. So we didn't show this on camera, but we made a caprese salad with tomatoes and fresh mozzarella and basil, and drizzled some balsamic vinegar over the top of that.
And this is like an antipasti platter that we constructed. There's like 3 different kinds of cured meats. We did not do that, we purchased that, but then those are like really good with crostini. And I really enjoy, like bocconcini as well, like little pieces of mozzarella, olives, pepperoncini peppers. It's like this appetizer is way better than the main course.
It's not true. I made that pasta and it is good. It is very good.
I'm gonna try some of the fungi that I made. Garlic and sage butter. That's my new favorite.
Whoa.
Garlic sage butter. Wow.
I love it.
I can eat like an entree size portion of just this thing. I'm gonna eat some more caprese. Mozzarella, balsamic. It's just really good compliments to the tomato.
It's a perfect salad.
And so simple too. I mean, we didn't even need to show you how. Italian food is like really good at these things, right? Like simple ingredients but really high taste. I'm gonna go in for some ravioli.
Okay.
I love this. I really enjoy ricotta and spinach. And that's like a really good combination. I've tried this on pizza once and it was like really good.
That's delicious. Yeah, I mean, I've never made ravioli before. This is the first, and I'm quite proud. This is really tasty. You guys can do this at home. I mean, you can do this.
This is a first time attempt. Look at this perfection.
I know.
She did a great job.
Yeah, they call me Chef Boyardee, but my raviolis probably taste better.
I want to eat more ravioli, but I'll just have to come back to this because we don't want to bore you. Now it's time for the spaghetti alla vongole.
I just want a clam really bad. I've had like 3 clams already. I'm not gonna act like I haven't tried this.
This buttery spaghetti with like clam juice.
This tastes like the spaghetti alla vongole I've had before. It's really, really good. Now, I want to taste some of the pasta, the fruits of my labor. Jeez.
Yeah, I would not imagine that this was the first time she made spaghetti. Because seriously, this is delicious. So simple too, deceptively simple, really complex taste. I love it.
Yeah, this is really good. I mean, Italian food, everyone knows it. It's delicious, and we're not disappointed by any of this. Fantastic.
I cannot stop talking about this thing, but I won't bore you anymore. We're gonna finish eating every single bite on this table. We'll see you next week.